Does it always have to be critters? Can I read a horror book where it's not about insects being everywhere? Hi folks, I'm Kat and today I would like to talk about White Smoke by Tiffany D Jackson, which is also the book of the month for October for the Diversity is Lit book club. I will link their discussion in the card if the link is already up. It will be full of spoilers. I will try to keep this review as spoiler-free as possible, but I have to complain about a couple of things. After a drug-related incident, Marigold and her patchwork family moved to Cedarville for a residency her mom has won, courtesy of the Sterling Foundation, for her writing career. Soon after the move, Mary notices that some things are off in the house. Things are going missing, electricity does whatever the hell it wants, the TV turns itself on at night. So while she's battling her anxiety, she's dealing with strained relationships within the family and she gets accustomed to living in a new place, she also has to worry about possibly sharing the house with a violent ghost. And that's not the only thing dangerous about Cedarville. The whole book is told from Marigold's perspective, and she's quite an interesting character. She has a very strong voice, but she's also a selfish character, and I really appreciated that other characters call her out on her bullshit throughout the story, and then she tries to improve from there. Because you get to see it from Marigold's perspective, you also find it rather easy to commiserate that like her mom's new husband isn't all that great and that he's way too overprotective of his daughter. Yeah, Cleo agrees, okay. It also makes it easy to dislike Marigold's stepsister Piper. Yeah, you don't like children either, I know. I know. Sorry, I didn't mean to poke you in the ear. I'm sorry. The way Marigold describes her anxiety attacks over bedbugs, because they had bedbugs once upon a time, made me itch all over as well, and I've never seen bedbugs, thankfully, and hope I never will. The vivid way in which she describes her fear of the return of the bedbugs also makes me understand the impulse to maybe just burn your house down, to just get rid of the past. I can see it. Yeah, no, I'm not burning any house down, it's okay, Cleo. The writing is pretty strong, I'd say. I was never bored. It's a fast-paced story in general. And because Marigold's voice just fits everything in this world, it's pretty great. What are you complaining about? One of the things that bothered me is the part where kids or teenagers try to tell adults that something is wrong and it just gets glossed over or they don't listen at all, which is what Marigold's parents do at points. And a lot of the things could have just been resolved so much sooner and so much more easily if adults actually listen to their kids from time to time. What are you doing, Cleo? Now, within the story you encounter a mob of angry neighbors more than once. And their behavior is just so illogical. It's not like I expect decent or logical behavior from a mob, obviously. The name itself excludes that possibility. But even for a mob, it seems highly illogical behavior. Like, they turn up at the family's house at some point. Why do you have electricity and we don't? It's like, well, how the fuck would they know? Neither of them is an electrician, and none of the teenagers or kids will have done anything to make this happen, so I would try to imagine this like down our street. It's like there's only one house that still has lights on and everybody else just congregates at the front door and is mad. Our lights are out, why do you still have lights and electricity and one? It's like, well, how would these people know? And same in the book, like how would Marigold's parents know? And then towards the end as well, they need to find two people, one of whom they want alive and well. And their conclusion is, let's just burn down a couple of houses because that's going to help. It's like, what? Yeah, I mean, this mob is just especially stupid. Not that a congregation of angry human beings is ever particularly smart or anything, but this was especially bad. Then the biggest point for me was, even though this is in the horror genre and you quite often get this somewhat open ending where you're like, aha, the protagonist won and the evil has been vanquished, or has it? You know, you get this kind of ending where it's not quite clear whether you've won or not. But in this book, I feel like it's even more open than that. It's like the villain is just over there, Marigold's over here, and they haven't really come to blows. Or it just felt like when I got to the end, I expected like at least one more chapter tying a couple of things up. I mean, for instance, you never get a solution for something that happened like 30 years ago. Okay, that's been 30 years ago, so no, that's, I guess, is fair. But then you also don't get a resolution for a character that you meet with in the story that has something happened to them, where I thought you would get to hear more about them or hear from them again, and not just a throwaway line by another side character. But I think it has a lot of open plot points. Overall, I enjoyed the book though. The writing was strong. Marigold was an interesting character to follow. It was fast-paced. Just a bit too open-ended for my taste. So overall, I think it's this cat, and I will probably round it up to 4 stars on Goodreads and other places. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to help the channel out, and let me know in the comments whether you have a horror recommendation that does not deal with bugs or insects of any kind. Oh, possibly not like too much splatter horror either. Something in between, there must be something for me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back next week with another video. Bye! Yes, push harder. You can manage the door. No, you manage the door.
No.
Oh, John did. Okay. Silly of me. I thought the cat managed to open the door. What is this going to be? You're sitting on the keyboard. You're writing in my document. Can you get your butt off the keyboard? Thank you. Yes, I needed 50 zeros in that line. Thank you.